Welcome to 22 and 23. Today's topic is anal sex. What is anal sex? Anal penetration. Usually a penis to the anus. We could consider with a dildo, but anal sex is basically a penis in the anus. Things to know about it. So first of all, there is an STI risk of anal sex, and there's actually a higher risk of STI transmission because of the type of skin that is in the anus. And so in particular, HIV is a higher risk of transmission than other forms of sex too. So it's just important to use protection, especially if you don't know your status or your partner's status, which would be a condom. And then the other thing to know is that there is no actual pregnancy risk with anal penetration. However, if someone ejaculates in the anus and then that semen leaks down to the vagina, that is technically where the pregnancy risk happens. So not a straightforward pregnancy risk, but if you're not careful with the ejaculate, yes, there is a pregnancy risk. The other thing to talk about with anal sex is douching, which is basically cleaning the rectum out of any fecal matter before having anal sex. And this is a bit of a hot topic to douche or not to douche. We know that we don't recommend douching for vaginas because it wipes out the good vaginal flora, bacteria in the vagina. But when it comes to douching of the anus, there's really actually like no need to do it. So the muscles that line the rectum and the anus are really good at keeping fecal matter, stool, poop from the end of the GI tract. And so there is no super big reason to do it. The other thing is that if you douche, again, that's like clearing out the rectum of fecal matter as well as like some of the good lining. You risk damaging the lining of your rectum, and that can increase the risk of transmitting sexually transmitted infections. And so one reason to not do it, especially if you don't know your status or your partner's status. So if you are going to douche, use a condom. Question number 1, is it safe to stimulate the prostate? Yes, it is. It is safe. So the prostate is only found in those with male anatomy, and it is an gland that surrounds the pee hole, so the urethra, and it is found in front of the anus and the rectum. And so the way you stimulate the prostate is inserting something into the rectum and then feeling toward the front of the body. So that's where the prostate is. Safe. Question number 2. Me and my boyfriend had anal sex. We didn't use protection and he finished inside of me. I showered right after, but I keep having the feeling like, what if I'm pregnant? I took a pregnancy test and it came out as negative. Okay, so again, first, it's very unlikely to get pregnant from anal sex unless his ejaculate came in the area of your vagina. Second, love that you took a pregnancy test. You want to make sure that you're waiting the right interval to take a pregnancy test. So you want to give it at least usually 3 weeks, or wait until you've missed your period to take a pregnancy test. Take one too soon, might be a false negative. Question number 3, do we still use a condom when the anus is entering the mouth for oral sex, I mean? Okay, so we're talking about oral sex with the anus. So that you can use a dental dam for. So which is basically this sheet of polyurethane or latex, and you can also just cut up a condom into a square and make a dental dam out of it. And then you place that over the anus and you can perform anal sex. Question number 4, are male anal orgasms real? If so, how does one achieve it? So based on a lot of studies, yes, it is possible. And that is again through stimulation of the prostate, which will be based on if you're around the anus toward the front of the body. So that's how you stimulate, is insertion and then providing stimulation to the front part of the anus. Yep. Question number 5. I'm curious to try anal. Are there any precautions I should take? So I have 3 basic precautions. The first is, again, considering condoms. The second is considering lube. Avoid an oil-based lube if you're going to be using condoms. And the third is be prepared to talk with your partner. What feels comfortable or good, what doesn't feel good, and I think that you should be set. Question number 6. Is anal healthy? As healthy as any form of sexual pleasure can be, sure. Just be safe and use a condom. Like any form of sex, I would recommend that. Question 7. Are condoms necessary for anal sex? So again, no, they're not necessary, but just be cautious because the anal tissue and the rectal tissue, there is just a higher risk of catching and spreading some STIs, and in particular HIV. So know your status, know your partner's status. If you don't, use a condom, or if you do, use a condom. And number 8, is vegetable oil safe to use as anal lube? Sure, yeah, it's safe. Again, when it comes to condoms, if you're using a condom, don't use an oil-based lube like vegetable oil with the condom, or the condom will break. But it's safe to use without a condom in the case that you know your partner's status and your status. But yeah, it's safe. So that'll do it for this round of 22 and 23.